Hello. Well, good evening. Good evening. It's great to see you. Welcome to everybody watching online. Welcome to the select VIP audience who are here. Live comedy is back in Frinton. How exciting is that? And for those of you watching online, it's going to be a great evening. We've kicked off Frinton Mission in the last 24 hours. It's been a great time. Last night we had our opening service. Today it's been heaps of kids and youth work happening. The team have been out and about. So now it's about time just to let our hair down a bit, isn't it? And relax and have a really good laugh. And no better person for me to introduce to have us laughing this evening. Ladies and gentlemen, give a huge round of applause to Mr. Andy Kind.
Oh, that's nice. Oh, that's nice. Oh my gosh, this is so weird. I've told some of you, I haven't done a comedy gig in over a year. So you're right to look nervous because I'm incredibly anxious. Fortunately, I absolutely bossed it last night preaching the gospel. I don't know if anyone was here, but I absolutely nailed that one. So whatever happens, I'm still ahead. But we're hoping we're going to have a nice time. I'll have to do some old stuff. I've got some new stuff which I thought of during lockdown. I don't even know if it's funny. So if it's not, well, it's okay. This is like a pre-season friendly for me before things get back to normal. So there will be some recognisable players. There's quite a lot of kids playing tonight, though, and some of them won't be given full-time contracts. I'm just letting you know, probably get a few injuries. We can just relax about it. Frinton's relaxed. I'm staying in Frinton Court, the high-rise, floor 8, and it's people who go to this church and they're away in London, so I'm staying there. And I've been out doing the mission stuff today. We've been chatting to people and sharing God's love and stuff. And I left my balcony window open. And I come back to get ready for the gig. And there's a seagull in there. And because it's not my flat, I just reacted in a really weird way. So you come along the corridor, you come into the main living area, and there's this seagull on the table, and I came in and just went, "Oh, sorry, mate." Like, sorry, as if to say, like, what was I thinking? Like, they just had like a lodger they hadn't told me about. Don't forget to feed the pet, Roger. Oh, is Roger a dog? No, he's a Nazgul, a little miniature Nazgul. So that's the most exciting thing that's happened to me in the last 18 months, coming face to face with a seagull. The second most exciting thing that's happened to me in the last 18 months is that my grandmother's got an Alexa. Yeah. She's 94. She's got an Alexa. And I had to go around and fix it the other day because it was broken. It wasn't broken. She'd been calling it Cassandra. So I tried to fix it, and whilst fixing it, I burped, and Alexa said, "Okay, shuffling songs by One Direction." Genuinely true, that happened. I'm wearing the same jacket, although I think we can all agree, much more handsome with a beard. Super hot. 40 now as well. 40. Yeah, you weren't expecting that, were you? We got Dan here. I followed Dan on Instagram. Don't I, mate? You've gone very coy about it now. Hearting my photos like there's no tomorrow, and all of a sudden when we meet in person... Fine, I'll go and make friends with that seagull. I'm going to follow him on Instagram. What's been your favourite? We've got lots of young people. This is great. Fresh meat. I haven't seen bunch of young people like this. What are you guys doing here at the... no one's going to get picked on tonight because, again, I'm just feeling very jittery, so I'm just trying to make friends. We'll talk to you. Yeah, it's like, yeah, okay. I've given it some thought and we can do that. Pull your shorts down a little bit. I mean, over the thighs. I don't mean from the waist. Goodness me. Told you I was rusty. I'm wearing this FM wristband, so people know. But my DBS didn't come through in time, so I'm wearing this to make sure that everyone knows. I'm only joking. I did pass my DBS, 62%. That's a solid 2-1. It's a good degree at most universities, that. What are you guys doing here at the Frinton Mission? You, sir? Well, first of all, tell me... Sorry, I haven't had a conversation with a stranger in ages. What's your name, friend? Toby. How old are you, Tobes? 20? Mate, I'm not selling fireworks. How old are you? You can be honest with me. I've got no cigarettes in the car. I am 40. I'm double your age and I feel sick. But that's because I'm still slightly freaked out from coming face to face with a massive seagull. So, what are you doing here at this Frinton Mission? Megabytes team? Fixing the computers and stuff like that? What's the megabytes? 8 to 10 year olds? Come on. That's really good. And you're all the megabytes team? You're pointing at her. She's the megabytes team? She's not the megabytes team. She's the only child who's turned up. She looks older than 8. But again, we've all aged during this pandemic. I've been here since yesterday. It's good. I love Frinton. I've been here since yesterday. On the way to the church yesterday, I hit and killed a squirrel. I know. Aside from that, it was a fairly standard walk from the train station. So I'm bored. What else am I going to do? I hate animals. I'm not a vet. I'm just going to read. I've made loads of notes. These are just ideas of things I might talk about. I've got loads of stuff to talk about my mum. Last week pandemic's weird, isn't it? Last week I hugged my mum for the first time in a year. Yeah. She lives next door, I just don't like her. It was her birthday, so. My mum's so weird. She's I'm 40, she's nearly 70 now, and I hate being 40, I don't like it, it makes me feel uncomfortable. But my mum is loving being retired and nearly 70. She is absolutely, she's come into her own. Everything that she's always wanted to do, telling you that people have died. She loves it. People get to that age, don't they? My mum said to me, she said, I told you Dr. Reynolds had died, didn't I? Yeah, it was the first thing you mentioned on Christmas morning, actually. Yeah, so you did tell me that. Stockpiling bath bombs. That's her hobby. She used to be a teacher. She's bored now, so she stockpiles bath bombs. I don't know for what war. I mean, I don't know how useful they'll be. If there is going to be World War III, it'll be hygienic, I can tell you that. I've got some other things to say about her. Again, this is all new. And she's... that's all right, you see, don't worry. First of all, it's an absolute bop. I'm 40, I said a bop. Imagine. You see, if this was a normal gig, I'd be like, your phone's gone off, I don't care. I'm totally relaxed. It's Frinton Mission, we're all friends together. People are in shorts. Toby, I can see your lineage from there, Toby. %. My mum she's always been quite embarrassing, but she's now majorly embarrassing because again she's a grandmother now, so she's allowed to be. That's her prerogative and her choice, and also her life's aim. So I've got 2 little girls, and we'll turn up, and straight away she'll get the photos out. She'll say, "Who wants to see a picture of Daddy with no clothes on?" It's like, first of all, Mum, you haven't seen him in 3 months. You could say, and second of all, this is from the 2015 rugby tour I went on. How have you hacked my cloud? How have you got this photo? So embarrassing. It was her birthday recently, and I realised I needed to do something nice for her because my sister is, what is she? She's like wealthier than me. She's got what my parents would call like a proper job. She's used her degree. So I wanted to do something nice for my mum. I did something nice for her in 2007 when I moved out. But since then, I've very much let her down as a son. She tells me every Monday morning over FaceTime. So I thought I'd do something nice for her. And you see, because my sister bought my mum an iPhone. Yeah, she's an accountant. Like a proper iPhone. What's the current iPhone one? The new one, Tobes? Oh, don't look coy. Don't look shy, mate. Do you want... Let's hug. Come on. Let's show COVID who's boss. Come on, let's hug. Come on. It's all right. Come on. Come on. It's all right. We're just... Yeah, we're going to get pinged. I'll never let go. I'm sorry, I live on my own. I felt so lonely. I walked past a line of market researchers the other day, and they all pretended to be on the phone. That's how lonely I feel, Toby. Sit down now, mate. Jesus loves you, Tobes. I haven't decided yet, but you're a good man. You're a good man, Toby. I hope you don't mind this. I'm 40. It's what happens when you get to 40. I've had to... my mum. So my sister bought my mum an iPhone. My mum didn't need an iPhone. She was quite happy with the Nokia 3310 she'd had since the year 2000. Because my mum only has a phone for two reasons. Reason number one, to call my grandmother to check if she's still alive. Reason number two, she is at the moment, but she won't be one day, it's tense. Reason number two, to play Snake. My mum loves a bit of Snake. Anyway, she doesn't need an iPhone, but my sister bought my mum an iPhone, and it's a problem for me, because what it means that now that my mum's got an iPhone, it's a camera phone. She's never had a camera phone before, imagine that. So what it means now that my mum's got an iPhone is that every day, several times a day, my mum will send me what she will call selfies, but what any of us would call photos with her not in them. You see, she has no idea what the terminology means. The first day she got her iPhone, she and Dad went to Warwick Castle up in the Midlands to see the peacocks and the pageantry, the knights and the jousting. She rings me up from Warwick Castle. It comes up on my phone, do not answer. That's what my mum's registered as in my phone. I said, hello. She said, hello, son, it's me, your mum, Lynn Kind. I said, thanks for those two additional clues as to your identity. She said, big day for me, son. I'm about to send you my first ever selfie. Stay tuned. No idea what that meant. 9.5 minutes later, this picture comes through. It's a picture of one of the Warwick Castle peacocks. That's not a selfie. It's not. If anything, my mum looks more like an otter. It's not a selfie. I rang her back and said, Mum, this isn't a selfie. This is a picture of a peacock. Genuinely, my mum said, oh, yes, that's right. I took it my selfie. No, that's not what it means. But she's obsessed with it now. She loves sending me photos. So, Mark, can we get the first photo up? So, this is a photo. That's me still. This is the photo my mum sent me the other day. She and Dad are on holiday in Anglesey or somewhere, Shropshire. I take after my mum. So this is a photo of my mum pretending to be scared by a dragon. And I made the mistake of responding with a single laughing face, which was like a red rag to a bull. So she then, this has happened yesterday, so this is true. So then she sent another one. This is her pretending to be scared now by a teapot. Honestly, so she just thought, oh, well, he likes the fact that I'm pretending to be scared by something. But a dragon is scary. If it was a real dragon, that would be scary. That is a real teapot, and they're not terrifying. There's more. That's her being scared by a lamp. And a map. not true. You can get rid of that. Please, Mark, get rid of that. No, put me back on. It's similar, very similar. I look less scared than her. So anyway, I decided that I would to try and compensate for my better sister. I'd take my mum to Brussels in Belgium. So this is, pre-pandemic. I took my mum to Brussels in Belgium, and I decided to check TripAdvisor to decide where we go. TripAdvisor, you rate hotels out of 5 stars. And now, there are some terrible reviews on the whole of TripAdvisor, but they seem to be centralised on Brussels in Belgium. I'm going to read you 3 tonight. I could have chosen others. I'm going to read you 3 tonight. These are all genuine. And just to let you know, we didn't stay at any of these hotels. So they're all written by ladies. Here we go, first one. I checked into the hotel. A man on the stairs offered to carry my bags. I assumed he was a porter. He wasn't a porter. It wasn't until he entered my room and suggested that we have a bath together that I had my doubts. Still only doubts at this point. Still giving him the benefit, bless her. Don't put cold in first, you moron. Suddenly it struck me, this was no porter. Well done, Sherlock. I alerted the concierge, who looked mortified and went searching for the man with a fire extinguisher and some nearby cutlery that he'd recently finished polishing. Apparently, it was the 4th time this month something like this had happened. 1 star. So that's the first one, 1 star. Fair enough, slightly on the generous side, if you ask me. This is the second one. Different lady, different hotel, same website, TripAdvisor. I unlocked the door to my bedroom to find an elderly gentleman lying on my bed, talking to a dog with no clothes on. You're absolutely right. It's not clear at this point which of them doesn't have the clothes on. Fair enough. She's about to clear it up. This was unacceptable. The hotel website specifically said, no dogs. Because that's the thing to fret about, isn't it? The stray pet, not Mr. Nudie Rudy splayed on the bed. 1 star there as well, you won't be surprised to hear. This is my favourite one. This is written by a lady in her 70s from Manchester, where I used to live. Bear in mind, she's in Brussels. This hotel misled me into believing that it was in Paris. Which has gone all that way. A hotel in Belgium should have a Belgian name, not a French one. My husband was most disappointed and has since died. Doesn't say whether it's as a result of the disappointment, does it, Tobes? The worst bit of all, she goes on to say, overall, 3 stars. 3 stars! Fair enough, really. Are we all local? Do we have any people from farther afield? Farther rather than further. If it's literal distance, it's farther rather than further. Anyone from, did you almost put your hand up there? Just absolutely hustling me. I love it. Where are you from, young sailor, my lad? Hampshire. Oh, that's quite far. Which part of Hampshire? The New Forest? North bit. I'm not going to follow you home. You can be more specific. Just somewhere in the north. Do your own research, Andy. Basingstoke. I was going to guess at Basingstoke. That's nice. I've been to Basingstoke. Oh. It is quite nice. It is quite nice. I mean, I live in Aylesbury at the moment, but I used to live in Stoke. What? Aylesbury's posh, yeah. I live in my car. It's just parked up there. But I used to live in Moss Side in Manchester and Stoke-on-Trent. So, you come to Frinton and it's basically the bit in Dad's army at the start, isn't it, with all the arrows pointing towards. It's that bit. I mean, is there any crime in Frinton? Oh, yes. Let me tell you, the price of pan au chocolat, Andy, let me tell you. Absolutely unforgivable. The lack of a proper lawn bowls league. Criminal. They should be ashamed of themselves. Driving. Bear in mind, I lived in Manchester, and if you stopped at a traffic lights in Moss Side in Manchester, there would often be a sign saying, whatever you do, keep your windows closed at all times while the light is on red. It was common. I was driving here through on the way to Frinton, taking the country roads, there was a sign at the side of the road saying, warning, soft verges. I thought, where do you find the bravery to leave the house? It's incredible. You courageous people, soft verges, and pan au chocolat. I've done the bit about the wristband. That went quite well. Oh yes, so that's it. I like Wales. Wales is my favourite place to gig in the UK. You look, oh Tobes, you're not from Wales, are you, mate? You are. Oh yes. Oh, you know God's really doing stuff tonight. Oh, yes, God's really. You know, it's one of those God incidences, isn't it? It is, mate. It is. More Lord. Let's just wait. Let's do a Pilavachi and just stand here for ages. Well, because I've got no more jokes. Let's just come on. Just wait on the Holy Spirit. It's going to be about another 25 minutes. I like Wales. I'm going to pay you a compliment, James. I like Wales because I would say, and I think you're testament to this, the most welcoming place in the UK, most welcoming of the countries. Because if you drive into Frinton, for instance, or somewhere in England, there'll be a sign saying, welcome to Frinton. Standard, easy, basic, but fine. You drive into any town in Wales, and they have the name of the town in English, and then above that, they put the Wi-Fi password. No. So generous. It's because Welsh words look like a random collection of letters. Only you didn't laugh at that. Either you're massively offended, or you're not really from Wales. I am actually from Germany in the 40s. I've missed people so much during this. I don't know about you. I've genuinely missed people. I was so excited. I got an email from my uncle the other day. It went into my junk folder, but it said, salutations, how are you? I was like, great. My uncle's got in touch. And I opened up the email. It was just kind of, a link to get Viagra from Russia. But I thought, come on, you haven't seen me in 18 months. Ask me about my career or my daughters or something. I don't think I'll use that joke again. That was a new one. That's the first time tonight I felt really let down by myself. I feel a bit sad now. I feel a bit sad. Very nice without the beard up there. Dan, how you doing, mate? Have you just unfollowed me on Instagram? That's the sort of thing. What's been your favourite thing about the pandemage? You won't be marked down. It's not a test. Just you got to stay in bed a lot. Are you ill? Are you the grandparents from Willy Wonka? I've had to. I've lost some weight recently. Fortunately, I've had to, because all I've done is eat over the last 18 months. That's all I've done. I don't care. Just eating. Are you the same? There's nothing else to do. Eating habits all over the place. Treating yourself to a mid-afternoon kebab as a joint lunch and dinner present. Got to lose some weight. I've had to go on this coffee diet. Have you heard of the coffee diet? You've got Atkins and, the 5-2. Have you heard of the coffee diet? It's brilliant. It really, really works. Basically, you have a full cafetiere for breakfast, full cafetiere for lunch, and then heart palpitations and diarrhea for the rest of the day. Honestly, I've lost so much weight. But because people say, that's the best option, because people say, oh no, you just need to eat healthily. Do you know what eating healthily entails? Fruit and veg. No, thank you. Eat healthily? No, you eat healthily. Kale? Have you tried kale? Kale tastes like it's trying to murder you. It wants you dead and it's not prepared to wait. It's absolutely gross. And then these health freaks, vegans. There's only two types of people you can insult these days. Christians and vegans. Those are the only two people groups left to insult. I already am a Christian. I'm not going to insult myself, am I? I'm not an idiot. What do you think I am? Some kind of vegan? I'm not going to do that, am I? So you can insult vegans. But I do eat meat. And if you're offended, I don't mind. But I do have my morals. I only eat meat that deserves to die. So I had a delicious steak the other day, delicious sirloin, but it was from a cow who'd been using manipulative and coercive behaviour towards a female colleague. So, what was it we had last night? I had a chicken boona last night. Absolutely delicious. And again, if you're a vegan, don't worry, because the chicken had only got 62% on its DBS. So, again, it was right to eat it. That's a very funny joke. No, it didn't get very much, but we're still overcoming the email joke, and so I'm building you back up. But that is a very good joke, and it is okay to have a nice time. I've told myself that a lot over the last 18 months. What about you, Josie? What's been your favourite thing about the COVID-19? You don't have to go to school. You'll have to again, though, soon, won't you? Yeah, good. Like it's not. You don't have a free pass for the rest of your life. This is Josie. She can't read at all, but at least she gets out of bed once a day. Are you? I'm double jabbed. Are you double jabbed, Tobes? Yeah, you are. I'm double jabbed. I'm not. There's conspiracy theorists all over the place, aren't there? Oh, don't have your second jab. You'll be dead. I'm not worried about having a vaccine. Like on more than one occasion in my life, I've finished a Wetherspoon's breakfast. I think I can cope. I think I can cope with whatever's in that vaccine. I'm not married anymore. I used to be married. I'm not married anymore. I've never talked about this before, and I don't want to make a big deal about it because you still want to honor people. It wasn't my choice. I remember I said to her, I do feel a bit responsible. I said to her once, if anything happens to me, I want you to find someone else. I didn't, when I said anything, I didn't just mean getting caught in traffic, because that was, but people interpret things in different ways. But I'll tell you, again, it's a weird thing to talk about, but I will say this, like being unmarried is hard. Some things when you're unmarried are more difficult than when you're married. I don't just mean like single parenting or, career or anything like that. Like hedgehog rescue, for me, is a big one. I found, this is true, don't look nervous, just telling you about my life. I found in my garden a wounded hedgehog recently, and I didn't know what to do. Like, and I remember thinking, if she was here, she would have known what to do. She would have given it a name, and it would have come to live with us, and she would have just, over a period of weeks, nursed it back to health. Like, I just gave it a packet of crisps and hit it with a spade. I mean, in fairness, those were my crisps. I'm not a flipping charity. I'm not a vet. Get your own crisps. That's good. Tick. Mark, what's your most used, what's the Bible phrase, the Bible quote that you say the most to yourself? Yeah, or that you use the most?
Name of the Lord is a strong tower.
Yeah, very good. And what sort of circumstances would you use that in? Just when you're feeling a bit low, or Dan's refusing to get out of bed and you're like, I failed as a father. Yeah. School's been back for 6 months and Josie's nowhere to be seen. She's outside eating from the bin. Yeah. Mine. What about you, Tobes? Most, or just favorite book of the Bible if you want. Favorite book or favorite book generally if you're struggling. Which is what? What does it say? I'm not N.T. Wright. It's amazing, mate. Absolutely fantastic. And again, you can use that in any situation. My favourite one is God has not given you a spirit of fear, which I tend to say for when I'm in the park and a goose looks at me. It's horrible, isn't it, when they start walking towards you? God's not giving you a spirit of fear. I don't think that's what Paul meant, but I don't think that's what he was talking about. Okay, what shall we talk about now? So this is stuff that's happened to me. Stuff that's happened to me during the pandemic. I did my longest ever walk on Strava. Yeah? I was changing the king-size duvet at the time, and that took absolutely ages. I've genuinely forgotten how to. I mean, I'm really happy with how this is going tonight, and it's we're already half an hour in, so I can quit any time now and I'll get away with it. But I was genuinely a bit nervous because I've forgotten. I love banter, but I don't speak to many people, and I've forgotten what it's like to be outside and when you're allowed to talk to people. And I was in London, and I'd forgotten that London people don't talk to anyone anyway. I was in London last week, and I walked past somebody holding a cat. They were holding a cat. And so I just walked past, and I said, cute cat. But first of all, you don't say that to people in London, because people don't in London want you to talk to. And second of all, it wasn't a cat. It was a foot-long Subway meatball marinara. Cute cat. Thank goodness I didn't use any alternative words for cat. It would have been a disaster. Cute cat? What? Sorry, just blame everything on COVID these days. I come from a military family, as you can tell. My dad was in the army. My granddad was wounded by a German on holiday in Alicante in the 1980s. Emotionally wounded, really. He was wearing Bermuda shorts. He didn't have the knees for it, and this German guy was quite cruel, as they can loathe to be. I'll tell you one story about my granddad. He's not alive anymore, but the last Christmas before the pandemic, he came to visit. He'd come and visit every year, and we'd all get together as a family, and Mum would take a number of selfies. She wasn't in any of them, but just mainly like lamps, and there was other ones I could have sent actually to Mark, but can I do it? Can I still send you stuff, Mark? Is it too late to do that now? It is a bit late. Well, the finale of the show tonight will be me and Mark fighting to the death. Touchy or what? I know you've had a hard time, mate, but we've all had a hard time, thank you. Mum texted me this morning. I texted Mum this morning of the view of the sea from my flat. She sent me a text back saying, a voice note. She said, Andrew, that's a view worth waking up for. I was like, yeah, it's a nice view, but I mean, I would have been happy to wake up anyway. Do you know what I mean? Just because you don't have a sea view doesn't mean you want to pass away in the night. What's happened to this morning? What's happened to Andy? No, he's dead. Why? Well, his view was just a wall. He couldn't cope with it. His mum would understand. Anyway, so I won't tell my granddad story, I don't think. I can't be bothered. I'm 40. We'll talk about that. I'm 40. I don't want to be 40. I'm incredible. I'm like the oldest person in the room. Well, look, I know listen, thank you. First of all, that is kind of you to say that, I'm not the oldest person in the room, trying to make me feel better. But I am the oldest person in the room. I'm the oldest person in the world because I'm 40, you see. I'm the guy who lost the city of Atlantis in the first place. That's how old I am. I went to my school reunion the other day. It was just me and a load of igneous rock. I am 40. I am on the verge of dying. This is it for me. I'm 40. How old are you, madam? 66. That's nothing. I'm 40. I am. I remember when pizza first hit UK shores and cheese on toast started complaining about all these foreigners coming over here, taking our jobs. Do you want to know how that's possible? I'll tell you it's possible, because I'm 40. And people say, you look good for 40. First of all, no one looks good at 40. I don't look good. I look like Lord Voldemort after a nose job. I look like Mr. Burns. I'm 40. It's an absolute disgrace. How old are you? I'm not chatting you up. Just tell me. I'm 40. I know I'm single at the moment. Come on. How old are you? 22. Bit young for you, Tobes, or a bit old? What do you think? You're not brother and sister, are you? Oh, he's from Wales. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter, does it? Sorry, that was crass. That was very crass. I apologise. I've got other stuff about being 40. Atlantis, igneous rock. Yeah. Yeah. Because it'll be really funny now that I'm doing it from a sheet. Someone said to me, the other day. Do you remember Woolworths? Remember it? I remember when it was part of the Byzantium Empire. That's how I'm 40. People are, we've lived through for you lot, I mean, you're 66. You're living through what you think is an unprecedented pandemic. Not for me. For me, it merely completes the plague trilogy that started in the 12th century with the Black Death when I was only a young boy. Do you want to know how that's possible? Let me be very clear. I am 40. It was more of a sermon than a joke, wasn't it? You sure you can't do those photos, Mark? Nope, still no. I gave him a few minutes to kind of, snap himself out of his massive mood, but no. I have. I've eaten so many. I only eat takeaways these days. I do. I only eat takeaways. I've got a bag of potatoes. My life's aim is to get 100% completion on a bag of onions. I'd love that one day. That's never happened so far. I've got a bag of potatoes in the pantry that are, I don't know when they're from. They're so old. I'm taking them on the Antiques Roadshow next week to get them valued. They're 40, basically, I think. But I only eat takeaway. I've had so many calories. Do you feel the same about that, Sally? Have you had lots of calories? I mean, you look great. Again, I'm not. Forgive me. I'm not used to talking to people who aren't my reflection. I've had so many calories over the last 18 months. I'm just waiting for the Oompa Loompas to turn up and sing a creepy song about me. I'm 40. I won't do this granddad story because I think I've done it here before. I've got two little girls, though. I've got two little girls. I'll tell you a little bit about them. I used to work in church leadership up until March. Worked not as good as Mark, but like running a church. And I've had to step down from church leadership because I wasn't very good at it. And you think I'm awkward now. Like, I was terrible. On one occasion, this girl she was a bit older than you, but she was 24, 25. And within my first 6 months of being in church leadership, she comes up to me, Rebecca her name was, she comes up to me, she says, can I talk to you? I'm really struggling with this issue. Will you pray for me? I said, yeah. And it was really on my heart because it was a really difficult thing. And then the next Sunday, what I wanted to show is that I'd taken the time out to consider what she'd said and would have been, seeking the Lord on it. And that would have been a good thing to say. I could have just said that verbatim. Instead of what I actually said was, I was thinking about you in the shower the other day. And so it's better this way. It's better now. Do you have a men's ministry? Who runs the men's group? You? No. Dan? Come on, mate. Get out of bed. You're not going to get COVID. Who runs the men's group? Martin. What sort of stuff does he do? Yeah. No, just generally in his life. Over the next 10 minutes. Bacon rolls. Yeah. That's good. I had some blokes round for a Lord of the Rings marathon. That was quite good. I don't know why I thought we could do it all in one night. They're quite long books, aren't they? But we gave it a go. What's interesting about this pre-season friendly is that I'm not going to put too much stock on it. It's really about me learning how to deliver this material. Because you've got people like Mark who laugh at anything because he's paid me quite a lot of money to be here and he really needs to prove to himself that it was worth it. Yeah. Exactly. And then you've got people, like, quite a lot of people who've seen me before. I mean, put your hands up if you've either seen me before or you haven't. Okay. So, you see, that's an old joke, and I know what I'm doing with those things. So, I'm enjoying it, though. I won't do too much longer. I might do the hedgehog rescue one again, because I enjoyed doing that. I think that'll go down quite well. I think that's quite a nice... I've done a cute cat. Now, what shall I do? I came up with some alternative board games because I exhausted all my board games, and like you, I think that jigsaws should only be played by people who think that Alan Jones is a bit of all right. If you don't fancy Alan Jones, you shouldn't be doing a jigsaw. Josie does loads of jigsaws. So what I did, I've come up with some alternative sort of reimaginings of board games. So here, we'll try these out. If you're bored and you want to kind of, 3Dify your board games. Number one, climb up a decorator's ladder and hand him a live python. Number two, take 100 footballs to Africa and lob them at impoverished hippos. Number three, go to a National Trust property and brutally murder a colour-coded member of the upper classes. Number four, dress as the Archbishop of Canterbury, then charge at the Queen from an oblique angle. Number five, enter a building site and just start rearranging random bricks out of newly constructed walls. Number six, yell out various letter and number combinations at a nearby lake and see if any boats explode. Number seven, carry out illegal backstreet operations on a paralysed but harrowingly conscious man with a pair of tweezers. Operation. Well done for naming them all. There's no prizes. The prize is, this will soon be over. Number 8, roll a dice and then literally invade Kamchatka. Number 9, interrupt a friend, relative, or cold caller's description of absolutely anything by just shouting out, "Is it Bernard?" Guess who that? Those are the ones I've got. Again, okay, let's do a final story. Let's do a proper story that I've done before. This has been a lovely gig, then. It's been so nice. Thank you. Thanks so much. I know I'm rusty, but I'm also your friend. You know what? I've won awards. I don't need to worry, do I? How many comedy awards have you won, Tobes? None. 1. Flipping get in there. And that's only in 40 years. Wait till I get to 80. Maybe 2. So, I'll tell you this. I will tell you about my granddad. So my granddad came around for Christmas, and I was playing, because although I wasn't 40 at the time, Toby, you listen to me, please, mate. I will make you stay behind. I may be your friend, but I'm also your boss. I'm not really, but I'd like to be. So, are you a gamer, Tobes? No, you're too busy reading Joshua 1:9, aren't you? What do you like to do in your spare time? Sport. What sort of sport do you like to do? Tennis. Great. This is white hot banter. Thanks for giving so much back. The last time I saw a conversation this tense, it was a member of the Gestapo in one of those World War II films, torturing an RAF officer. My granddad came to. I like gaming. I still do gaming, and I was playing on Call of Duty World War II. Play as a soldier, and you go around doing all these missions. Now, my granddad, as I said, fought in the Second World War. So when I was playing on this game, he comes in to watch me, and I thought this would be great. This will be fantastic. It will be a great bonding experience. I said, Granddad, look at the screen. As he comes in, a German soldier appears, pixelated on screen. I said, Granddad, look at the screen. Second World War, isn't it? I said, do you want to have a go? He said, son, I am 94 years old. Yes, please. So I said, great. I give him the PlayStation 4 controller. He sits down. At this moment, a German soldier appears, animated, pixelated on the screen. My granddad, 94 years old, who fought in the Second World War, sees the German soldier, points directly at the screen, and just says, oh, hello there, Jerry. Guess who's back? It was absolutely amazing. Easily the best thing that's happened in my entire life. I'll tell you this last story, because I've got two girls. I've got Alice and Heidi, and I want them to feel like, there's lots of parents in here. I want them to feel like princesses. Do you know what I mean, Sally? I want them to feel like princesses. So I treat them so badly they feel ostracized and have to leave the country. It's a Meghan Markle joke. Oh, you got it now. Oh, we can't say that. I can say what I want. There's a serious point to be made here, but I don't need to because I'm a comedian. I'm not preaching now. So anyway, so I've got 2 girls, and they're both cleverer than me. They're much cleverer than me. I took Alice for a walk the other day, and she's 9 now, and she was just picking up we went through the woods, picking up every single twig and stick she could find, just studying them. So, Alice, will you please hurry up? I want to get home. I need a wee. She just looks at me. She says, "The wand chooses the wizard, Daddy." I mean, what are you supposed to do in response to that? How do you respond to that? Heidi, who's she's just turned 6, but when she was about 3, I'd come back from a gig, and I got up early with them in the morning, and Heidi comes in, and she says, "Daddy, this morning, you be a horsey and let me ride around on your back." I said, "No, that's not going to happen. Daddy's absolutely shattered. Maybe another time, but I'm not going to do that this morning, Heidi. I am your daddy, and you are 3. I'm not doing it." And Heidi just looked at me. She said, "Horses don't talk, Daddy." So that was it for the rest of the morning. I was absolutely shattered. So, I think, what time is it? Quarter to 8. That's all right, isn't it? Do you want a bit more? Yeah. You do? Okay, well, some people saying, did some people sigh then? I think I know who to blame. Of course we can do more. I've done most of the stuff that I wanted to do. I'll tell you this then. Again, most of this has been new stuff, so thank you so much, because it's been a really, really useful sort of opportunity to realise that I need a proper job. So I'll let my mum know straight away afterwards. She'll be so pleased. I've joined the gym because, again, I've eaten so much, and so I've gone to the gym, and I was in the gym. The other day, and there's a guy in there who is, he's beautiful. He's like you, Tobes, but he's not just a skeleton. Like he's like, if you put some effort in, but facially as attractive as you. He's beautiful. Again, I'm heterosexual, but I also affirm beauty where I see it. It's one, you just want to do it. So anyway, because again, I've been in lockdown, so my mind's a bit weird. I'm slightly obsessed with this guy. I've been writing about him in my journal. I've been sketching him from memory. And we're in the gym. I'm nervous when I see him. And so we're in the gym together the other day. Yeah. And in the gym together the other day, and I'm on the exercise bike. He's doing some weights, and we sort of accidentally. Well, I'm obviously looking at him. He looks at me, and I didn't know what to say, so I just said, "You have a delightful torso, sire." Because if you're going to say something creepy, do it in an Elizabethan voice. That really takes the edge off. And anyway, despite how well built he was, he looked really scared. And I thought I wanted to reassure him. So I really wanted to reassure him. So I went like this. But I forgot. I don't wear a wedding ring anymore because I'm not married anymore. So goodness sake, it was like, what did you think this was? Some kind of underground homoerotic gesture. Anyway, this is all true. He goes into the changing rooms, and I'm thinking, I've only just joined the gym. I don't want to get kicked out straight away for terrifying people. I'm not really weird. I'm just a bit awkward and clumsy. So I thought I need to do something about this. So he goes into the changing room, wanting to make it better. I just follow him in there, and that's the end of the story. I'm going to have to buy an exercise bike for home, I think. I wanted to get away, but all my means of escape, exercise bike, cross-country skis, rowing boat, they're all nailed to the floor and thus useless. Alice, when we used to live in Manchester, my daughter Alice came home one day and she said, "Daddy, tomorrow at school is Pirate Day. I've got to dress as a pirate." I said, "That's great, you like that? It's your favourite thing to dress up." I said, "Yes, you've got to dress as a pirate as well, Daddy." I said, "Well, I don't want to." She said, "Well, you've got to." And I'm not, I want to be a good dad, so I did. I mean, I love her so much. I'd do anything for her. I mean, I wouldn't, get a proper career, but if I was making her an orange juice, I'd let the cold tap run for a bit. That's what I mean. So I want to make her proud. So I do what's necessary, and what's necessary is me staying up till, because I don't have any pirate costume. I've got an eye patch from where I auditioned for Stars in Their Eyes as Gabrielle, but apart from that, I've got nothing. I stay up till 4 a.m. fashioning myself a makeshift pirate costume. Make a cutlass out of cardboard, a pirate hat out of felt. I get a Primark leather jacket, cost me about £3.70. Cut the arms off, made this kind of weird waistcoat. Look in the mirror at 4 a.m., look absolutely amazing. I also look like what would have happened if the village people had brought on a sub, but that's another story. Alice gets up in the morning, she says, Daddy, will you paint my face like a pirate? I say, of course I will. I love you. This is going to be a great day. She then paints my face like a clown. I say, why have you done this? She said, well, to be honest, Daddy, I didn't want you to have your face as a pirate because I didn't want you to turn up and to scare everybody by how scary you were. I thought, that's a really ingenious thing to do, Alice, because, let's face it, there's nothing more reassuring for people in a primary school than a clown wielding a sword, is there? That really takes the edge off people's fear. So, anyway, I've got my face painted as a clown, but dressed as a pirate. She's got the full memorabilia. We're walking, this is when we lived in Moss Side in Manchester. It was one of the best moments of my entire life, because it's that intimacy with your kids. Walking that half mile through Moss Side in Manchester on the way to school, holding hands. She's beaming up at me. She's so giddy. She can't wait to get to school. I'm looking down at her. I'm so proud of her. Her smile is like a rising sun. And frankly, I'm proud of myself because for the first time in my life, I have done more than I needed to do. I've done more than the bare minimum. My daughter is proud of me. I am a good father. That's who I am, you see. And then it wasn't Pirate Day because she'd made the whole thing up. Totally invented it. That's not her fault, you'd say. She was 5. She was 5 at the time. That's what 5-year-olds do, don't they? They use their imagination. A grown-up word for that is lying. But this was fine for one member of our family because she got to go to school dressed as a pirate. It's what she'd planned the whole time. Me on the other hand, I had to turn up as a clown wielding a sword with 62% on my DBS. That was... okay, do you want... I sense, Mark, that you want me to go until 8 o'clock. You feel that's... Because we were going to do an interview, so I'd left time for an interview. I'll carry on. That was an order. That was the friendliest order I've ever been given. I'll do as long... I can stay as long as you want. I love it. I'm having such a nice time. But I'm just aware that, I'm going through my mind palace and a lot of the doors are locked. So, one of the things about being, and also, now that I'm not married, that's halved my set because I had so much material about it. So unless I can kind of rework it, I used to call my wife Bambi. That was my nickname for her. I used to call her Bambi because she was cute and clumsy and I wanted to shoot her mum. So that was... I'm going to miss that joke. I'm going to miss it so much. The good thing... There are no good things about not being married, I can tell you. I'm not one of those comedians who said it was just an absolute disaster. But the good thing, though, about not being married is that now when I'm... Because I'll tell you a bad thing about being married to a woman is when, as a man, is when you're peckish of an evening and you decide to have a snack. So you go to the freezer and you find a tub of ice cream in the freezer and you open the tub of ice cream to discover that it is, in fact, frozen soup. If there's a reason why I'm happy I'm divorced, it's that. First of all, nobody likes soup. Nobody likes soup. Put your hands up if you like soup. Exactly, no one likes soup. I never once sat with my wife of an evening and said, oh, darling, I'm absolutely starving. I'm genuinely famished. Now, I know Domino's Pizza will deliver within 30 minutes, but frankly, I can't wait that long. Darling, you know that totally flavourless soup that you made in 2011? I don't suppose any more of that, is there? Oh, there is. Oh, sing choirs of angels, yes. Liquid vegetables, that's way tastier than ice cream. It's much tastier than mint choc chip. I tell you what, I will have the soup. Can you do that thing where you microwave the soup so that most of the ice won't have broken down, but it will still somehow massively burn my mouth? I must notify the Nobel Prize Committee about your new invention, scalding hot ice. I'll do that straight away. Don't worry though, my love. Don't worry. If I do want something sweet for my dessert, I'll simply take this cake tin down from on top of the fridge, because I'm sure on this occasion it will contain actual cake and not, as it normally does, a slightly smaller tin. I'm sure that'll be absolutely fine. Really, I should have just done all the old material. It would have gone much better. You nod, yes, you should have done. I don't care. You've got to give people the opportunity. You've got to blood a few of the youngsters. None of them are getting contracts, I'll tell you that. Definitely not. Right, shall we do anything else? 9:56, wow. Can we get some tense music in the background? You see, between you and me, Josie, if Mark had put those extra pictures up, we would have said, that would have been it. He's sitting there. He's sitting there, like, nonchalantly going through his own camera roll. I've got loads of photos. Loads. So many photos here I could put up if I wanted to, but I don't. Because I'm in my special royal box in the corner. Oh, look at me, I'm Mark. I did some... because obviously I lost all my work when the pandemic hit. You remember when the pandemic hit? I lost my work. So I just did a series of weird things. Like I moved out of my flat at one point to try and save a bit of money, and house sat for my sister, you know, the really rich one. They went to one of their other houses, and so I house sat for them, and it was difficult because you know they've got lots of stuff, and I struggling a little bit financially at the time, and so I was difficult as a disciple of Jesus. I was tempted to steal at point stops, but don't worry, I didn't steal. Do you know why I didn't steal? I'll tell you why. It's because the Bible says, "Thou shalt not steal," doesn't it? However, nowhere does the Bible say, "Thou shalt not swap." It doesn't say that anywhere. I took the big TV, left an Etch-a-Sketch. Took the iPhone, left a Walkman. $7.58. I've done loads of material tonight, though. I have done lots. And if I could remember any, I've done the cute cat one. Okay, let's tell you this then. I didn't like the board games one. I knew that wouldn't go down very well. But you've got to try these things. Okay, I'll tell you that. Let me tell you an actual story that happened. So I've recently walked the Pennine Way, did the whole of the Pennine Way in early June. Thank you so much. This is the woman who said I should have done my normal material, so she's feeling bad, she's guilty. Nail that guilt to the cross, madam, it's okay, all opinions are available. And I stayed on day 3, so this is a genuine story, and I'm going to turn it into some stand-up, but I'll tell you as it happened, and then I'll see which bits resonate. I stayed in an Airbnb with a German couple called Werner and Juliana. Now I turn up. I've walked 16 miles that day. I turn up at 4 o'clock, which is the time that people turn up at accommodation. That's when you turn up around 4 o'clock, 3 or 4 o'clock. I turn up at 4 o'clock. It's pouring with rain. I'm standing there in the rain for an entire hour because they're not in. Although it turns out that only Werner isn't in. Juliana is in, but she's depressed, and so she doesn't answer the door unless she wants to. And she didn't want to. So again, this is not fabricated. This is the true story. So anyway, Werner comes in and he opens up the door and leads me into the kitchen, which is basically probably, if not only described as an Aladdin's cave of psychedelic erotica, right? Juliana is a very talented but quite rude artist who's done a lot of just very impressive, but just gross, like slight pseudo-spiritual paintings all around the kitchen wall, one of which has both of our hosts wearing their best smiles when, frankly, clothes would have been more to my taste. So I'm sitting down, and they're giving me a chai latte because they live in Hebden Bridge and they're, vegan. So they're giving me a chai latte. And I'm sitting down there trying to speak to it with this flipping in my eyeline. And Juliana, I should say, obviously a member of the realist school of art because she hasn't been generous to Werner on the painting. I thought, no wonder she's depressed. Werner looks at it and says, oh, that is definitely me. I'm like, don't boast about it, mate. Wait till this. Why did you have it done in December? Wait till it's hot. Anyway, they're asking me different questions, and I fortunately I had something to drink because the chai latte was so. I closed my eyes partly because it was so delicious, but also to kind of block out the baying mob of willies in my peripheral vision. Then Werner says to me, "Would you like to have a bath?" I was like, "Yes, on my own if possible." If I'd had the chance to edit that status, I would have got rid of the "if possible" bit. But I said, "Yes, on my own if possible." And Werner says, "Yeah, that's possible. Not preferable, notice, but possible." He says, "How long will you be?" I'm sorry for the terrible accent, but that's the closest I can come to it. He said, "How long will you be?" I said, "Well, I don't know. So I've walked 60 miles. I'm hoping to have a long soak." He says, "Well, it's just we only have one toilet in the entire house. It's in the bathroom. What if I need to do a wee?" I said, "Well, I don't know." So I was like, "Do you want to do a wee now?" I'm really project managing this thing at this point. "Do you want to go and do a wee now?" It's like, "Yeah, I go and do a wee." So he goes to a wee. I'm standing outside with my towel waiting. It's fine. He comes out. I said, "Thanks, Werner." He said, "Hang on, wait a minute." I just shout up to Juliana. Juliana? Yeah. Andy chooses to have a bath. Do you need to do a V first? Like she's working out like body, like fluid intake divided by the urgency of whatever bottom she's painting. She says that, it's like, "Yeah, I come and have a V too." Werner says to me, "Juliana comes to have a wee too." "Yes, I got that one, Werner, thank you." Juliana comes downstairs, ghosts past me into the bathroom to have a wee, and then surely, contravening all unwritten law of hospitality, also a poo. 10 minutes. And like, I couldn't hear anything, but after 4 minutes, you've guessed, haven't you? You've guessed what's going on in there. Like, it's a true story. Like that, after breakfast. After break, anyway, she's in there, and I'm thinking, you know what? That hour in the rain got me pretty clean. I think I'm probably okay. Next morning over breakfast, Werner says to me, "I'm having kefir, which is basically bacteria. It's yogurt bacteria. It's absolutely gross. I'd rather have soup." And no one likes soup. Put your hands up if you like soup. No one likes it. Werner says, "Have you had your COVID jab?" I said, "Yes, I have had it." He said, "Why?" I said, "Well, I don't know. It's like all my mates were getting one. I felt pressured, it felt like the in thing." He said, "But everyone will be dead in 3 years." He says this. I'm a guest in his place. He said, "Everyone will be dead in 3 years." And so I look at the pantheon of swirling erotica. I think about the disgustingly smelly bath. I swirl around the yogurt bacteria in my mouth. I just look at him and I say, "Good, I want to be dead." So there we are. That was an absolutely unadulterated story, and you liked it. And so that's going to be part of my new show, A Pilgrim's Tale, which you've just had the trailer for. So, 8:04, take that, Mr. No Photos, yes. Now, look, there's not many places that I would have the permission to come and just be so laconic and just be so scatterbrained and scattergunned. But I think I've built up enough trust over the last 10 years to be able to do this. And we'll know if I haven't, because I just won't be back. But thank you very much. Honestly, thank you, because I've really enjoyed it. It's been really useful. It's been really fun. It's been great to chat to Tobes, who's now freezing cold in those shorts. Look, it's nearly dark outside, mate. How far have you got to go? Do you want a lift? Are you sure? It doesn't have to be from me. Would you like a lift? Like generally, I'd love a lift. I've got to go and wrestle with a seagull. I mean, I don't know. It could be anywhere now. Under the pillow, in the closet. Who knows? So, thanks so much. I hope you've enjoyed it. If you haven't enjoyed it, I'm not that fussed because, again, it's a pre-season. I'm playing Boreham Wood, aren't I? It's not the Europa League. But I think most of you have enjoyed it, and I've certainly enjoyed it, and I feel privileged and pleasured to have spent this evening with you. I'll see some of you over the course of the week. You can follow me on the social medias, Andy Kind Comedy, or Andy.kind on Instagram. Dan knows that. If you could, at least one of you follow me, because he's gone. That's it. And unless there's anything else, any notices? No? No, well, I mean, you would have thought after sort of 15, 16 years of doing comedy that I'd have some kind of like big finish.
Give it up for Andy Kind. Thank you for being here. Sorry to those he's insulted. I'll try and make it up for you in some sort of way. Please stay part of my church or part of one of the local churches. That would be good. It's been great tonight. Don't forget, we're just at the start of Frinton Mission. Other evening events, whether you're watching online or you're here. Wednesday evening, we've got the Songs of Praise, some great old hymns and some of the stories attached to them. That's going to be online. Friday night, really great. In Oasis, there's an art evening. We've got about 30 artists who are showing their work, and you can come along, you can meet some of the artists and just really appreciate what's going on in there. And Saturday evening is the quiz night online. So do take part in that. Have a great Frinton Mission. We will see you around the town.